How to write an H-1B cover letter. Every H-1B petition must be accompanied by a cover letter addressing three topics. Number 1, the terms and conditions of employment. Number 2, the nature of the job to be done by the employee. And number 3, the employee's qualifications for the job as evidenced by the employee's education and the employee's work experience. Since the H-1B can only be used for specialty occupations, the purpose of the cover letter is to demonstrate to USCIS that the job meets the criteria for specialty occupation. Specialty occupation is defined as an occupation which requires theoretical and practical application of a body of highly specialized knowledge and which requires the attainment of a bachelor's degree or higher in a specific specialty as a minimum requirement for entry into the occupation in the United States. A template for the cover letter can be found by clicking on the cover letter link on our H-1B document checklist page on our website. The letter should be printed on the letterhead of the department or lab or the principal investigator and signed by the principal investigator, supervisor, or department administrator. Now, let's break down the content of the cover letter. The top of the cover letter should have the following USCIS information: Director, Regional Service Center, Citizenship and Immigration Services, Department of Homeland Security. Below the USCIS information is the In Regards to or Re section. Here you will enter one of 6 options that describe the purpose of the H-1B petition. Those options and their definitions are as follows. H-1B petition for initial employment counselor processing, if the new employee is outside of the U.S. H-1B petition for initial employment, change of status within the U.S. Use this if the employee is in the U.S. using a different visa status and the requested change of status will occur while the employee remains in the U.S. H-1B petition for sequential employment. Use this one if the employee is in the U.S. in H-1B status under another employer's H-1B sponsorship, and Stanford will be taking over the H-1B sponsorship. H-1B petition for extension of petition and employment within the U.S. Use this one if the H-1B status will be extended while the employee remains in the U.S. H-1B petition for extension of petition and employment consular processing. Use this if the employee will be out of the U.S. while USCIS is processing the extension. H-1B petition for amendment of existing petition. Use this one if the purpose of the petition is to inform USCIS of a material change in the job, such as new job title or change in worksite location. The next line should list the name of the beneficiary and Stanford, followed by the date. Now, let's break down what content goes into the body of the letter. The body of the letter will contain 6 paragraphs. Paragraphs 2 and 6 should be copied and pasted from the sample cover letter on our website. The other paragraphs in the sample cover letter provide instructions concerning what should be noted in those particular paragraphs. In paragraph 1, you will note the name of the H-1B beneficiary and the job title. The job title must match the job title that appears on the workflow form. In the first paragraph and after the first sentence, you will continue with the appropriate wording depending on whether the petition is for an initial H-1B, an H-1B extension, a transfer of H-1B sponsorship to Stanford, or an amendment of a current H-1B, and whether or not the requested action will be handled by consular processing. If the beneficiary is outside the U.S. and will apply for a visa at the consulate identified in the petition, you will copy and paste this specific sentence in the letter. If the beneficiary is in the U.S. and the requested change will occur without the beneficiary leaving the U.S., you will use this statement instead. Please note the use of the word begin. If you are filing for an H-1B extension, replace the word begin with the word continue. If you are filing for a transfer of H-1B sponsorship where the beneficiary is currently sponsored by another H-1B employer and wants to transfer or port their H-1B to Stanford, you will copy and paste this sentence. If you are filing an amendment of an existing H-1B petition, you will copy and paste this sentence. In this sentence, you will specify what triggered the amendment, whether it's a change of job title, responsibilities, worksite location, or something else. Your second paragraph will be copied and pasted from the sample cover letter on our website. Paragraphs 3, 4, and 5 should provide descriptions of the type of work done at the department, a description of the job for which the beneficiary is being hired, and a description of the beneficiary's qualifications. The information should be presented in 3 separate paragraphs. The third paragraph of the letter has to describe the department or lab where the work will take place, give general information about the kind of work performed, the research carried out, and the purpose of the research, as in, what is the objective of the work? The fourth paragraph describes the specific job the employee will carry out, include a description of the job responsibility in terms of a body of specialized knowledge, explaining methodologies used to do the work, research or teaching, skills required, tools used, etc. State the start and end date of the employment. These dates must match what was noted on the workflow form. And annual salary, which should also match what was noted on the workflow form. The fifth paragraph describes how the employee is qualified to do the job. Note the highest degree earned as well as the field in which it was earned. And explain how the knowledge and training acquired during that degree program is directly relevant to the job and has provided the beneficiary with the necessary training to do the job. Paragraph 6 is the final paragraph in the cover letter. Copy and paste this as the final paragraph and signature section of the letter. And finally, here are some additional tips when creating your cover letter. Number 1, the letter should be no longer than 2 pages. Number 2, keep in mind that the letter is not a recommendation letter and should not include subjective statements such as comments on the beneficiary's dedication to the job, work ethic, conscientiousness, etc. The letter should also not include statements that note how indispensable the beneficiary is to the research, unless that statement can be backed up by concrete, documented examples. And finally, tip number 3. The letter should not include statements about the beneficiary's future career plans and how the job will help further those plans.